Hey guys, well, Eric at least. Welcome to another stream at long last of the Pearl again. And I see two people should be on, and so far I only see Eric, but welcome. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was getting things set up and ran out of time. I happened to look at the screen and I'm like, oh, 22 seconds. Great. But yeah, been a long time since I worked on the Pearl. Done a little bit more, well, not a long time. I've been working on it on the Sunday streams, but a long time since I've done just a straight video of it. Since last time I streamed it, a lot of work has been done. This bulk side wall on one side is done, and then the two sheets of plywood that build it up so that I can put the wooden strips on it have been done, and I've been doing a little bit of work on that. Hey, Captain. But been doing a little bit of work on the side of the ship, the inside. I know. And actually, since I agree, Eric, that the Bismarck looks amazing, but what I'm going to doing instead is going to be the fan home Ironman. Going to work on that for a while. Once I have something else complete and I have a little bit more cash, I will probably start the big Bismarck, unless of course the Batmobile starts up before then. Wife and I discussed it, and 3 is about the max I can afford to do at any one time. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, like I was saying, and pardon me while I plug in the phone so that my camera doesn't go dead while I'm streaming. Like I was saying, it's been a long time. I looked, it's actually been roughly since February. Worked on the Pearl on the Sunday streams, got a little bit done. It is very slow going on the Pearl because it basically, a lot of the pieces, like especially the wooden strips here, nowhere on this boat is there anything where for something this long to go. I actually cut all the pieces myself, and I used to I used to use a chisel blade to cut these pieces. Instead, I'm using these scissors. They are great little scissors. They cut just about anything. But I'm pretty sure you guys didn't come here to see me flap my gums at you. So let me go ahead and switch cameras. I was about to use the mouse, but let's see how this works. Yay! I have bought a little keypad and put shortcuts on it. Shown it before. So here's what I was talking about. Back here, well, let me turn it this way first. So back here, this was what I did, I believe, on the last stream. I think that was the last time I did anything on it in a video. Just recently, I folded these the rest of the way over to meet in here. I cut one of them off a little bit short. I'll have to work around that. And on the Sunday streams, first I set these pieces in place. It's actually 2 pieces deep. And because of vagaries of wooden kits, how they go together, a bunch of the pieces did not match up. Hang on, let me see something. Oh, there's a chunk of glue there. A bunch of the cannon ports didn't match up between the plywood pieces and the outer hull, so I had to do quite a bit of reshaping. You can really see it on that one right there, right here where my finger's at. You can see it was a 1/4 inch off all the way around, and so the outer edge is what's got to match, not the inner edge. Oh crap, the rubber grommet on the stand here just came loose. But so I'm going to be doing the planking to match the hole on the outside that the hole that I had to cut in here, not the hole on the inside. Be a little bit interesting. Right now, today, ow, grabbed the knife by the wrong point. Today and yesterday I put these planks in here. I've cut holes, or not planks, but the sheet strips. I've cut holes through here, got a couple to cut through down here, and I was working back here most recently. Shift this to the right. Most recently I've been cutting these pieces here, and so I'm going to finish this off up to here. Not going to be too concerned about it being exactly perfect, because the only way you can see this area here is through this little door here. And these doors can be a royal pain in the butt. The hinges are just nails cut off. So, without further ado, let me show you how I work this. So let me find the small piece here I've been working with. Slide that back. And I know that you build wooden ships, Eric. I think what you use all the time is white glue. Let's see. Pardon me while I adjust my camera. Yes, the doors have hinges. These doors do have hinges. It was photo etch pieces. You can see the brass here that come down, and I had to curl that. Same little piece type of brass as here on the side here, and you can see it in the intro. Some of the pictures show of the doors, but to get the actual hinges to work, what I did was took a brass nail, slid it through here, and cut it off underneath at the bottom. That's more difficult than it sounds. It's extremely difficult to get that. And yes, just in case anybody's curious, the HLI FX 001 is still going. Yeah, those those nails or pins, however you want to call it, really difficult to get in there. Not a problem anymore with, well, this one wouldn't, actually all of them. I was going to say not a problem anymore with these, but they're close enough or far enough that if I inadvertently turn the ship over, those pins are coming out and the doors are going to fall. It was really, really difficult, and I've accidentally flipped it over before and had those doors fly, or had the doors fall off. And there are similar doors underneath that are even worse to get to. Matter of fact, I'm pushing one of them closed. Almost looks like it might be off, but I hope not. Okay. So back to this. And what I'm doing, you can see there's a slight angle to this. I'm taking and eyeballing that angle to see, make it roughly perpendicular, the strip roughly perpendicular to this wall here. Tilt it a little bit so I can actually see it. And so what I'll do is I'll get it roughly where that one is going to be. Take it here. See how close it is to fitting where I need it. And I think it's a hair short, which is just fine. And oh, that's what I was saying. Not sure if what you use on yours, Eric, on the wooden models you've been building, straight Elmers, and for planking and stuff like that. Let me find the open one. Glue stick. For all the planking details, I use glue stick, and all I do is just, is this the one? I think this one might be dead. Yeah, it's shrunk up too much. Glue stick is murder on, or not glue stick, but this weather is murder on these glue sticks. Especially considering most of this stuff is, I bought several years ago on eBay, got a good deal. And I have like 150 of these glue sticks, or actually 150 or so packages. Get it good and get a good layer of it on here. And glue stick, when you first open it, is a little bit hesitant to start coming off. Hey, look at that. I just put that on the wrong side. The slant is right here. If you guys have any questions about the pearl, just let me know and I will answer as best I can. I'm even willing to possibly move the camera around so you can see down inside. And I might throw some power onto it. So those aren't quite parallel, or aren't quite horizontal. They'll be okay at the end. In the end, might throw some power on it. Maybe not, because this is not resisted at all yet. Do you have a spot for the pearl, like a permanent spot? Not yet. Don't know. Actually, yeah, I do, because I'm actually building this for my wife. It'll probably end up on the mantle upstairs in our bedroom on the fireplace, or could be eventually in her Disney village. And this one I ended up cutting it a little too sharp, or a little too not sharp, not steep enough. That's not good. Ow! Pinched myself. When I look at it from the side, it looks like it's a lot steeper, or not quite as steep as it actually is. It is almost perfectly. It's not perfectly perpendicular, but it's very close to perpendicular. So line it up. We're getting. Oops. Didn't even realize I had it up. By the way, this stand is part of a workbench that I got from one of the best wooden model kit makers. I buy from them all, or don't buy from them all the time, but I bought a lot of models from them over the years. I love Okri. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. So this one is a little bit, actually it's going to work. I was going to say it's a little bit long, but it's going to work out well. So the glue. And what I tried to do originally, and it did not work at all, because I've got straight wooden pieces, or wooden planks, and a curved hull. This curves down to here and then goes back up. I tried to go one single piece, complete length of the ship. Didn't work. So then I did every 6 inches, and that's okay, but what it's going to actually work out to is I'm going to cut each one individually and just kind of eyeball it and go, I'm going this far, trying to make sure I hit a spar when I hit the end of each one, because there is a slight, in some places it's slightly indented. Some places the spar is further back, some places the wall is further back, so it's kind of an interesting project to get it straight. Okay. You'd think after a dozen of these or so, it would be, I could just eyeball it. But I can't. And there is a ton, this kit comes with a ton of this planking material. Let's see if I can grab most of the packet I'm working on it with right now. So this was the small packet of the planking material. And I have another one that's larger. Because it's a walnut, and it goes on the inside of the ship and the outside. And it kind of matches up well with the what is that? Red mahogany stain that I used on the deck. I don't remember. Did I stain both sides? I did not. This is the original color of the deck. Only stained one side of the deck because you're not going to be looking up inside from the inside. It is a very good color. And the pieces are actually walnut wood. So it looks like I should do one more, and it should be a little bit longer than what I cut this last one. I can actually put this one up against here. So let me see if that's gonna fit. Thought I cut it long enough. It's a little bit short, but it's back far enough. There is no way you're ever gonna see into where I missed it. Because I could actually get away with not doing the pieces I'm doing right now. Not doing this area here because that is back, it's up under the deck. There's no windows in there. But just in case somebody ever gets curious and looks through this door. Matter of fact, once the side's on, you're not going to be able to see it, but I can see it a little bit. Plus, you're going to have cannons and stuff like that. I know you do. And like I said, once we get everything straightened out, once we get to the point where I ship you the Bismarck, I threw a pair of these in there. They are very, very worthwhile scissors. So now, like I said, actually, before I do that, I was about to start cutting more planks. But what I need to do, and I'm going to try and do this from the outside because it's too easy to, well, from the inside actually, but it's too easy to break these. Careful there. I'm lifting the boat up with the my finger on the wiring underneath, and that would make me cry if I broke it. So let me see. Is that one through? That one's through, so I got 1, 2, 3 of these to cut, and try not to cut myself. So I don't know if, yeah, you can see them here, here, and here. I've got to try and cut the wood. Should have cut them before I put the plank It's a nice handle. I think that Mark Shoe has one just like it. I'm trying to scratch this enough to where I can see it from the other side. And I think, Eric, actually, this is the same size. What's your pearl, I believe, is the same size as this one. It's just that mine came with a whole lot of extra goodies inside the belly of the ship because it has the side that comes off. There you can see the spars are well done, because I was just lifting it up by the cross member on that one spar. So here I can see and I'm not sure, but I think eventually there may be a plank that comes through these holes. Get my square file and see if I can get in through there. When it comes to things like this, with these planking, it's better once it's glued if you can come from the inside to the outside, because you have something to hold the plank together when you're trying to 32-inch. It's probably including the spar main. I think it's a mizzen mast up at the front. So probably about the same size. Not a bad ship. And I don't think you got a chance to start it yet, did you? Because I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it. Is that one? I could almost use a file like this that is about twice as long. I think, is that the last one? There it is. And I don't know if you noticed, but what I'm doing when I'm doing this is I'm also holding the walnut strip against the side of the ship so that I don't inadvertently remove it completely. Okay, so you should be able to see I've got holes here, here, all along. Not sure what is going to go through in those spots. Right her a little bit. And so the next spot that I'm going to put some planking on is I'm going to, because I've got this one here, got up to this spar right here. So I'm thinking maybe, no, I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to go this spar to this spar. Do a rough cut. Oh, there. Looking for these tweezers and they're right in front of my face. Rough cut. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit longer than I wanted. Yes, this is a spar or rib. At least I think that's what they're called. Nope, not quite enough off of there. And if I run out of these pieces, this walnut is, the walnut strip like this is very common. I have it in several other kits. Yeah, that should do. And as I'm doing this, I'm actually going to be covering up the top of this hole right here. And so I'm going to be coming right back with the X-Acto and cutting that, the rest of that back open. I have to say, as I'm working on this, I forget how much fun this kit is to work on every time I put it away for a while. I run into things like this, like gluing those in was a little bit daunting, and so I stepped away from it for a while. Now that I'm back to it, I'm like, why did I step away? And if anybody who cares, the shuttle is going together well. The tower has got many pieces attached, more pieces attached to it. I've got a little bit, I'm working on a little bit more lighting to try and figure out how to do it. It is a lot of fun, and I've seen how quick you are, quick and good at this you are. I'm very impressed with the work you've done on your wooden ships. When you're cutting, by the way, when you're cutting this stuff, you want to make sure your X-Acto is as sharp as you can possibly get it. Try not to stab yourself with it. And it's just a matter of a push in there to cut the sides. And I'll come back in here with the file. Not ruin the hammock that took me months to do. Push that in there, and it looks like it should be good. Hey, talent recognized where it's at, man. I wish I had the time that you're able to put into your models. I just don't what comes with it. Where did I put it? Oh, there. I'm sitting here, and unfortunately it's not rum. But I'm sitting here looking for my drink and I couldn't find it. What I think is funny, Eric, is I don't think he's on. I know he was on Discord earlier, but he hasn't made any comments. And Shu has called for the Pearl just as often as you have. But I haven't seen any comments from him, so I don't know whether he's on or not. Another way to cut these planks, I'm going to do it this time because I'm very close to the edge on one side and I want to actually have it about halfway. Your chisel blade should have made a mark. Yeah. Usually I'd cut all the way through, but I don't want to cut into the wood here. I made enough of a mark there that I could just snap it. And you can see, wrong way. You can see that they're not 100% 90 degrees. They don't have to be, because there's a little bit of not really overlap, but they lay against each other. And so as the glue dries, it will actually stick really well and won't have to worry about it anymore. It won't come loose, and it won't show any gaps from the outside. When it comes to doing the outside of the ship, when I do out here, those will be form fit. They will be cut very close tolerance, because otherwise you're going to be able to see gaps and you're going to see the white from the wood. This one is going to be a little bit different because I have the door there. Unlike the small holes, the door is plenty large enough that I don't have to cut this right now. I'll be able to cut it later. It's not wanting to line up. There we go. Wasn't wanting to line up right. It was popping up on one side. But later on, I'll be able to come back with these scissors and, whoops, way out of frame. You shift my chair over a little bit. I'll be able, oh, actually, if I get my hand out of the glue, if I shift the pearl over, I'll tend to stay on it. And there's another area up front here that I haven't, like this one here, but it's actually got a gun port in it, so I haven't done anything on it yet. I wonder, can I? This one is really close, so I'm going to try and go 2 lengths and see what I can do. I may end up cutting this in half, but I think I can get it to lay in. And here inside the ship, it doesn't matter that much if they're matched lengths or not. When you're doing anything that's really visible, that, yeah. Yeah, I used to I used to watch or listen to Radio Mystery Theater. I remember when I was 13, which is about 78. My bedtime was 10 o'clock and Radio Mystery Theater came on at 11. So I would go, bedtime would be actually tacitly approved, never really discussed. I would go in the bedroom. I just had to be in bed. And I would listen, or I would read for an hour, and then I'd listen to Radio Mystery Theater for an hour, and then I'd go to sleep at midnight and get up at 6. Which is why I still, to this day, after 43 years, I had to think about it, do some math. After 43 years, I still only get about 6 hours of sleep a night. Unless I drink a lot. Then sometimes all bets are off. So since I've already got these two started here, I've got this hole and this hole already started, I'm not going to worry about cutting that out. I want to let this have a chance to set up and dry so that it sticks really well to the hull. That's not long enough. And what you tend to do with this stuff, or at least I do, is as I have scraps, I'll start measuring it to see if I'm able to use it somewhere else. Hey GB, how's it going? Doing something a little bit different tonight. Been working on the pearl for about forever. Actually, let me think. I started the pearl, I want to say May the year we got here, so that would be 2019. So this is about a 2-year build so far. Doing a little bit of planking the inner wall on the pearl. Didn't like what I just saw, but I can't fix that exactly right now. I will in a second. I just want to make sure that this part, yeah, that's a hair too long. So I don't think you guys saw it when I touched this. It's a little bit loose. So I'm going to take my glue this thing is really full, so it went in there right off the bat, and it should be actually sinking down into that hole, kind of filling it. That's one of the spots that I was talking about where the spar here is a little bit further out in the wall. Make sure I grab the right piece of wood. Yeah. The one thing about using the glue stick like this is at the end my fingers peel like nothing because there's this little bits of glue all over it. Hey Donnie, it's not the Enterprise. Well, it could be from the ages of sail. And I believe you were looking for an Enterprise wooden ship kit anyway, so that one's going to need some glue behind it as well. Nice thing about this white glue, it's not the USS Pearl. It's a pirate ship. If anything, it's the HMS. We could lie to Donnie and tell him it's the USS Pearl D. It could be. I could rename it that. Let me see. So I'm doing here, guys, is I'm trying to see, just like I did going the other way. I'm going to start from the front here. Actually, that's not too bad, because as I've gone, it's adjusted a little bit, and I can actually go from this rib to this rib. Can't believe I didn't see any comments about it being a McRib. You guys are getting old in your slow age. Let me double check it's going to fit where I want it to. Perfect. It's just under halfway through on this rib. Yeah, it was. It was a one-off of the Next Generation show. See, and I think, guys, when Kenny did his 8-hour stream with wood, it was good, but what he should have done is used... Sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm just gluing this up. What he should have used is stuff like this, because this looks like more like floorboard than popsicle sticks do. Although his popsicle sticks came out really good. Of course, when he watches this, or if he watches it, he may look at this and go, I need to get me some of those. And we may get another 8-hour stream of him laying more wood on top of his wooden floor. And I, for one, would watch it. Nice thing about glue stick as well, and we do it only, we don't do it as much with styrene glue because it leaves marks behind. This glue does not leave any marks behind when you slide it along. No, I don't know about doing 8 hours of this. I can't stand it after a while. So let me see. This one should fit. Yeah. Cut this one off. You know, I just realized the best way to do this, the same way you do when you're trying to do a 2x4 to fit into a specific spot in the wall. You know, how you've got your 16 inches on center. If I measure this from this edge to this edge, like so, when I put it over there, it'll reach midpoint on that rib over on the other side. I actually thought I was going to, when I started working on the pearl, I expected I was going to be working cannons, but I'd forgotten that this inside spot gets planked. And so oh, that's why. Okay. Went too far with it. Bring it back out a little bit, because this wall here is higher than this rib is. So this plank is actually just kind of sliding behind this one over here. I'm going to leave it there. It should grab in the key spots and hopefully hold. So let me see how far I can go with this straight piece here. Actually, I'm not going to be able to slide that in there. I'm going to shoot for three ribs. If anybody is getting into the ouch, I tell you, these things sometimes when they cut through, the blade will pop a little bit further. But if anybody's getting into the 2022 wooden ship group build, highly recommend you get some of these for planking. Get some files. Files are a must on wooden ships. Get glue stick. Most everything else should match up between plastic and wooden models. Yeah, that's going to line up perfect. It's going to take a little bit of push here in the middle. And the way I actually got the pieces that are in here now down to the floor is I taped them. I glued them and then I taped them down using some of the some of this stuff, the wassa tape, just to put a slight curve in it to where it went down all the way and touched to the floor. You were gonna buy them, but you decided that you wouldn't. That's funny, Donnie. So you're not gonna get into the group build? I know you are. I mean, it's well, other than the Shelf Queen group build, which the Pearl is eminently qualified for. It's the only build that I know that Kenny's done, or group build that I know of that Kenny's done or doing, that is over a year long. Because these things can easily take a wooden ship. You wouldn't expect it, but a wooden ship can easily take several years to get done. So might have to, might have to put a piece of tape on here to hold it in place. Maybe. Donnie, you can't be involved in the 2022 wooden ship build unless do you have a DeLorean? That would be an awesome build. That's one of the ships I'm thinking about occasionally off of. I see on D'Agostini every now and then is the HMS Victory. It looks like a really cool ship to build. Matter of fact, I think somebody that a lot of us watch, Wayne from World of Wayne, is actually building it right now. Speaking of the wassa tape to hold parts in place, you can't see it, I don't think, but I keep having this one spot pop up there. So I'm going to demonstrate what I did earlier, which is I lay the tape down here, push it with my fingernail down all the way to the wall, push gently down and put the tape across it. It's creating a little bit of a bow here though. That's not going to work. I'm going to end up with a bow that I don't want. Wow. GB, the pearl comes in many iterations. This one just happens to be the most complicated one that's out there right now because it's got an interior and sides that come off. They sell a lower end one that doesn't have all this, much easier to build. That spotted glue keeps bugging me. Every time I touch this window, there's that spotted glue right there. Hang on. Sorry for blocking the shot, guys. There. And what it is when these parts got glued together, when I glued these two pieces of wood together, the glue bled down through there. Well, all I did to fix this, and it looks beautiful, is I did a slight cut in the plank, and it's not even straight. It's like at a 30-degree angle, but it looks perfect. So I should be able to do that the last two. That one has a little bit right there. And so what I just did, I don't know if everybody else was here before, I know Eric was, is I basically cut the upper layer of the wood there, and I was able to snap it instead. What you need to do is something along the lines of a halcyon, like Eric did, and realize it's not that overly painful. Damn it, that's about, it's just like 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters short in the back. But I'm going to go with it because the black paint from the rib is going to hide the fact that this isn't here, especially when, or that's missing, especially when the lighting that's in here, how dim it is actually. Another spot. So right here, it's raised a little bit, and I have to cut out that window. So I'm going to drop in some glue to go in behind this panel, or this planking. Hopefully it'll grab well enough to where it won't be ugly. If it does actually come off, it's going to be easy to fix after the fact. So this next one, I'm going to start here. I'm going to do a short one first, knowing that planking plank is the way it is around that window. Yeah, that does. I do find that when I'm on vacation like this, sometimes I end up getting a little bit burnt out because of how much time I have to build. Which is why, like with something like this, I started this planking actually yesterday. Did it for like a half hour or so to get that bottom layer done. And I did a little bit of this, a little bit of planking on this today, did work on the shuttle yesterday. Yes, rigging, the bane of any ship modeler's existence. And what I'm trying to do, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not cutting them the same length. I'm not cutting the planks the same length, trying to vary it up so that if you actually see it, it doesn't look like it was a 3 foot long piece of plank. Sorry guys, needed water. That one didn't want to cut. I wonder. I hit a button that doesn't do anything. You can see a little bit, but not very well. Okay, let me go back. Nope. Still learning my new setup. I haven't done any fancy wipes like Donnie does yet. Donnie's been awful quiet. He came in and said, "It's not the Pearl." And he's been quiet since then. Or it's not the Enterprise. Can't always be the Enterprise, Donnie. That I agree with you. I love doing rigging. You have to be slow and careful with it, but rigging is very relaxing because of the detail that it has in it. This is another spot that's going to need some glue. Is that far enough yet? Just barely. Just lifting it off the next one. Actually, that's not bad. You guys didn't hear it. I did. When I pinched it like that, it cracked the fibers of the plank. It's gonna have to do for right now. Easy line, that's cheating. That one looks like it's just long enough. Actually, it sounds like easy line might be the thing to do. but I've never tried it. My first black pearl that I did from Zvezda has just regular thread. No easy line to it. That's what makes it interesting, Eric. Having to work around the foibles of your materials. Okay, that one's blowing out, so piece is the perfect length to fit where I want it, but it's bowing out because of differences on the I just realized I'm doing this the hard way. It's bowing out because of the differences in the wall depth. So I'm going to do one piece at a time. The reason I do this on my fingers rather than the board or anything like that is because I can wash my hands. I don't want to muck up my board more than I already have doing other things to it or with it. Like this glue, I would end up with the glue on both sides of every plank if I tried to do the glue on the cutting board. So far, I have 3 small scraps for somewhere. Interesting. I wonder. Just looking up here in the front because I have there's a cannon port up here. So there's going to be one here. You guys can't see where there's one here. There's going to be one here. So I'm wondering if I'm going to have to try and plank in here. Probably not, because you can actually see out through the bottom of or the side of the hull right there. This is one thing you get sometimes with these planks too. You can see right there where it's got a notch broken out. So I'm just going to see if I can find a spot. Just use it right here. So once I cut it, that notch is literally a small chunk that I can cut off of here. So I'm going to do that right now. Set that over here. That's what I'm doing too. Don't know, you never know what you're gonna need it for. Save the scraps. You'll come up with something you need it for, some small spot. Or, knowing you, Eric, you're gonna pile it all together on the model at one point and set it on fire and say, the ship burned. again, I've got another spot where the planking is going up higher on one side than the other. You know, I cut that off and it didn't actually cut off where it needed to. That just shot inside the ship. Yes, I talk to my models as I build them. Oh yeah, that's right. That's that one. So let me slide this over here just a hair. Forgot about this. Is the really badly raised one. It smooths off at the top. Because of that, I now have a gap where I was just at, and so I'm going to take a very small piece of planking. I've already got it gummed up really well with glue. I'm going to slide it in there. There. Name 3 things you didn't destroy, Eric. And the kids don't count. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit longer because it's got to overlap on top of that one spot. Just between the two of you and everybody watching the live stream, and everybody who's gonna watch the live stream, anybody who might stop by. Sorry, I'm leaned back. I've moved my office chair over here. I usually have a backless stool over here at the bench, but since I'm on vacation, moved the office stool over from my work desk to here so I can lean back every now and then. I actually overlapped it a little bit more than I meant to, but that's fine. And so just a little bit more than this length. That's dropping behind the one below it. It felt like it wasn't dropping. This one just doesn't want to line up right. I can see what it is. It's not just this one. It's the ones below it as well. So I'm going to throw a little bit of glue on there. Hopefully I can get it to stay there where it's supposed to be. You may look at this and think it's odd that I'm basically gluing tape to it, but it should work out. The tape should come off the glue pretty easily. Maybe. It's still fighting with me a little bit, and it's too far for me to hit it with a clamp. So back here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off straight first. Go ahead and do 2 ribs length here. That's right. Almost forgot. This one's going, but I would have to cut like this. It didn't take. That should, come on. It's because I'm up higher. I can't put that much pressure on there. Let's try this one more time. The walnut was not cooperating. And there are going to be a bunch of little pieces. As I cut the cannon ports off, some places I expect that there are going to be pieces that come off. I expect a couple parts are going to come off here that I'm just going to have to re-glue. No, Eric builds and then he destroys. Actually, I think Eric calls it debuilding, not destroying. Let's see how this one goes in. It's just a tad too long. In all actuality, I think it's kind of cool what Eric does, because having limited stash, when he has a model that built, he's gotten his enjoyment out of it. Then he looks at it and he repurposes it and uses it again, and I believe usually gets 2 or 3 iterations out of one model. Because there was the Huey. I really liked what you did with the Huey. You built the Huey, and then after you had the Huey for a while, you decided to do a diorama with it. And from the diorama, you then are taking that diorama to the next level and crashing the Huey. Most people's models only get 1 life. Eric's models get at least 2 or 3 and a half. My models just tend to get halfway there and then sit on the shelf for a while, and then I come back and work them to their first stage of completion. I've yet to do a diorama. I might eventually. And that would, if I do, that would be because of Eric and his destruction of his models. Measure this, remeasure this after I got it cut. That's right. Forgot about that. Slip that in there. That'll give this next piece a good place to sit on top of. So, yeah, that's going to be too long. Good. Means I can cut it. I'm going to go full length here. So glue this up. slide this back in there. About midway. There went my scissors. About like that. And what's funny is it actually looks like a ship might look with some patchy pieces inside because, you know, who knows, cannon hits. So let me pull the glue on this one, or the tape, not the glue. See. Maybe. That's about there. What would be nice is if I could slide it in here and when it works out, just not have to pull it back out to put glue on it. It's a slight cover on the piece behind it, but that's okay. That back in there. Hindsight being 2020. What I should have done for this whole planking piece is I should have just cut planks between the ribs. Like I said, that's hindsight being 2020. I have to continue on the way I've got it. I've reached the point on most of the cannon ports that I'm going to go ahead and cut them open so that I don't lose them. It's just, I've got to figure out how I'm going to cut them open. I need to keep the glue handy because oops, dropping everything. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen when I cut these open is I'm going to have to re-glue several places. So let me see. See if I can get that to where you can see it. So first one, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. First one is going to be up here. And you definitely need a very sharp X-Acto to do this. Let me see, did that one cut all the way through? What I'm going to see if I can do is get it to snap. Okay, so it snapped there. It's not a perfectly clean break. And that I'm going to switch back because you're not going to be able to see much there. I can actually leave that one. Maybe sand it later. Or maybe sand it now. No. That's what I was afraid was going to happen. Stay. Things are flying everywhere. Okay, so brown on brown is really kind of interesting to try and get. Find my flat file. Filing that back smooth. Actually, that's just vaporizing. So I'm going to leave that as is. See what happens with the next one. Because right now I've just got bare rib back there. I think that one's going to do the same thing to me. It is. Not happy with the way this is going. Might go back and do exactly what I said earlier, which is just do this between the ribs. So this one has a piece that doesn't look too bad. I'm looking for a piece that I can cut a sliver off of for the bottom of the gun port. Of course. Those little pieces of tape have actually been there for a couple of years, and they're going to stay there because they're going to keep those wires from wandering off when I put the floor on the next floor. Get this on here. There are times I need a second right hand. And what I'm going to have to do later on, and I'm going to take care of that hole the same way. Inside the gun port here, I'm going to use a Q-tip. I'm going to use a Q-tip to make the white wood a little bit darker using mahogany stain that I've used on the flooring. Hopefully this one goes a little bit better. So I cut myself because I'm trying to do something left-handed. Actually wonder. No. That's not going to work. I think that did though. Damn it. Broke off a piece that was supposed to stay behind. I'm right-handed, Donnie. I can't do things left-handed very well. I take it you're a lefty? Okay. Kind of funny, somebody's messaging me on Facebook. Let me just for giggles. Let me see. That last one was me being charged by Agora Models for the last issue of the Actually, Donnie, I don't. I'd never caught that you're a lefty. Busy doing my own thing during the stream. That one's not as bad as the one before. Do a little bit of sanding here. Try this instead. there's this one chunk that's being a pain in my behind. There. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Actually, you know, Donnie, the reason I never figured it out during the stream is because we're always backwards on Discord and the Droid Cam. Lost my mind there for a second. So all things being equal, I should have done this a little bit different, but it's too late to really fix that. Well, unless I take it completely apart. I don't really want to do that right yet. What I am going to do for the remainder, though, is I'm going to glue the pieces of planking between the spars. And see, this one is working the way it's supposed to, because it's flat against the spar. It was flat against the spar, or against the wall. Wow, got some glue on the tweezers as well. So let me pull this out. It's almost working. No. No. No, Donnie, I'm not gonna. It's 7:40. I'm not gonna start another 2-hour stream an hour and a half in. That one went perfect. And something I may also do before I close this up, just so that I don't have... I know you don't, Donnie, but just so that I don't have parts falling apart later, I may go back over top of this just with a layer of white glue. I keep trying to break that thing off. I keep hitting that lamp really roughly. Fortunately, they're all on their own circuit, so if I break one, the rest will still work. I know, and I know you don't mind, Donnie. It's just that I only want to do so much each stream. It keeps you guys coming back. ribs keep poking into my arm. Let's see. Getting these at least roughed out. Really roughed. Just because, Donnie, one of these days I'm going to start an Enterprise stream at 3 o'clock in the morning just to see if you show up. That one the way it is, but what I'm doing right now, guys, is like I said, I'm going to probably, it's no longer probably, I'm going to spread some glue over top of these because it'll soak down through the wood and bond it to the wood beneath it. And to the pieces next to it as well. Were this a deck, it wouldn't be so bad because I'd be able to sand over top of it. But Donnie, you said you'd watch Enterprise pretty much anytime. So, okay, guys, I'm about funned out for this for tonight. Except for this right here. I just looked and it just bothers me. So I basically have a point there. So the gun ports are coming along roughly okay. I wonder. No, it's just yeah, I'm looking at the instructions and it doesn't show anything. It's much more beautiful than my work, to be honest. But that's okay. So, okay. But like I said, had about enough fun for this. I'm glad if you guys enjoyed it, I'm glad that's the reason I stream it. It's a little bit rough, and I know that I sound tired when I get done working on the Enterprise. I'll tell you what, every one of these takes it out of me a little bit. Every time I'm done with this, it's one of these things. The reason I have a drink is to unwind, because I'm doing some pretty intricate stuff here. I'm having a good time with it, loving the fact that you guys are watching. But the streams take it out of me a little bit. That's why I don't do them more often. When I'm on leave, like right now, I'm going to do a little bit more. But it's interesting how much it does wear me out. Yeah, I know. Donnie hates the Enterprise. Eric loves Goofy. Those are the mysteries of our time. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. It was a lot of fun. It's getting there. It looks rough, but I also know that as soon as I put a deck on top of this, it's going to look really good. This side, the side over here is more important, and I'm pointing at the model, and you guys can't even see it. Wow. I just looked over at YouTube. And it is way behind. Yeah, I looked over at YouTube, and it looks like it's way behind compared to what OBS has on it. Not sure how far behind it is. What's funny is you guys are responding to the chat. I'm wondering. It took it. Wonder if somehow my yeah, I'm looking at the stream, and it is really weird what is showing up over there. Because I know I've got on OBS. OBS is showing me. YouTube is showing a few minutes ago lag, actually. I don't know if it's actually that way for you guys or not. But I'm going to end the stream here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a lot of fun doing this, you know. And like and subscribe. If you're not a member of HobbyLink International, stop on by, join up. I think you would enjoy it. And I'll talk to you guys later. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be an Enterprise stream somewhere in the near future, like tomorrow or the next day. Have a great day, guys, and talk to you next time.